A very great welcome, Dr. Gauden Galea, from the WHO, and thank you for making time in such a busy schedule to speak with ASH Scotland.
Thank you for inviting me. It's only an honor.
And how have you found the conference so far?
The conference is very exciting. It's a sentimental moment because it's going to be the last one in my current role as WHO Strategic Advisor on NCDs and innovation in the region of Europe. I'm about to retire, but also a very exciting one to see the buzz of young people around, a specific track for young people. I've been very excited to see the awards given to very deserving projects in Montenegro, where within the Western Balkans we have among the biggest challenges in Europe in dealing with the industry and dealing with tobacco. In Ukraine, another award very close to our heart because of the fact that they are able to do work not just on tobacco but also on other risk factors as part of a rebuilding process, even during the period of active conflict. It is so not only is it great to see them celebrated, but it adds to our admiration for the courage and the work that they are doing. I've just come out of a state-of-the-art discussion, a panel, where excellent participants from the UK, from the Netherlands and from Mauritius showed how active and alive is the tobacco control movement within the context of the Sustainable Development Goals, because we have and are required to, if we want to be seen as credible, be held accountable for our targets by 2030, and we've got only 5 years left in order to do this. And this was a discussion on not only accelerating tobacco, but linking tobacco to the whole agenda of reducing non-communicable disease, premature mortality. So the buzz is great, being back with the community is great, but seeing that there are new initiatives, renewed passion, it's just great.
It is. Do you see commonality between the way the tobacco industry operates in its health-harming products and other health-harming industries like alcohol, junk foods?
Absolutely. We produced, and for anyone who's listening, I would commend or plug our publication of just a year ago, June of last year, in the context of the Belgian presidency of the EU. We launched a report called The Commercial Determinants of Non-Communicable Diseases in Europe, where we analyzed the behavior of the health-harming industries and their commonalities in Europe. And it caused quite a stir. There was even some pushback from industry. And the way that they work through indirect lobbying, through targeting of vulnerable groups in their marketing, through creating fear of spurious and economic catastrophes that will happen if regulation and legislation is imposed on their products. It's a field rife for further study and action by the tobacco control community in collaboration with our brothers and sisters in the other risk factors. And there is a new trend that is worrying to me as I watch how the industry is now beginning to target not the substantive issues, not whether there's evidence on the impact of alcohol on cancer or heart disease, or whether tobacco taxes achieve what they purport to achieve. This used to be our battle in the past. Now they are beginning to design messages about the incursion on sovereignty of member states. This is hitting a very interesting new audience that is resisting everything from pandemic accords to labeling of alcohol, a certain right-wing populist stance, that it doesn't matter whether we are doing this for public health, whether we have evidence. This accusation is the new doubt. We used to talk about the weaponization of doubt. They're now creating what I call, I've just coined it now, this phrase of the new doubt, the new weaponization, that I think will become much more of a challenge in the coming years, immediate future. I mean, not a long-term issue. So the tobacco control community and the other allies in the other risk factors need to start anticipating this attack and finding ways of countering.
And I see the tobacco industry interference in my country very much through a narrative about tobacco harm reduction, which is a manipulated industry narrative. But at this conference, there seems to be a lot of consensus about tobacco and recreational nicotine need to be dealt with together as an issue.
Let's be frank, it's a way of addicting young people for future enslavement by the industry. So the claims on harm reduction are simply ways of misdirecting policy, allowing a liberalization, allowing young people to become addicted at a level of addiction to nicotine that has never been seen before. So what we have no long-term statistics on what will happen. The likelihood of new products coming out, new forms of dual use emerging over time, there's no way of predicting, and it's interesting that that this industry is basically promoting harm reduction, which is how shall I call it? Harm reduction was a valid concept in the era of HIV/AIDS and in my younger days as we dealt with the pandemic, and clean needles and needle exchange schemes saved many lives and still do. So there is a valid place for harm reduction in some areas of public health, and we must not condemn it because we lose a whole group of allies. But at the same time, what we are seeing now is the adoption of harm reduction as a strategy by the industry, but not just tobacco, but also working with alcohol, working with the ultra-processed food industries, and finding ways of convincing governments that the old policies did not somehow work, and that there is a new and easier way forward. And this must be resisted by all our energies.
Yeah. So this is perhaps the final interview you're doing in this phase of your career. Have you any words of wisdom or inspiration for the generation growing up and working to combat this industry?
When I was younger, I went to a WHO conference when I was starting my career, and I was sitting by the UK representative, and he told me he envisioned a time when cigarette packets would be wrapped in brown paper. And I laughed my head off. I thought he was joking. This was the time when there were advertising on front page of newspapers, and sports, what we were told, would not exist if not for the support of the tobacco industry. So my message to the young people is, what vision would make you laugh now? Now work for that.
I love that. Gauden, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
All the best with your retirement.
Thank you. Oh, I'll be around, don't worry.
Good, good. Thank you.
Thank you.